Guys of Reddit, what's the creepiest / weirdest way a woman has hit on you? A girl reached out to me on FB who lived in my neighborhood, said she was looking for friends, and asked to meet up. Being new to the hood myself, I said sure. We met at a bar, and she was a little troll of a woman. Not only was she fat and ugly, she just had a nasty personality and complained about everything. I tried to be nice about having other plans and needing to go, but she followed me. I awkwardly let her tag along to a friend's house. When we arrived, within 10 minutes my friend soured on her, and the host pulled me aside and said, "You gotta get her out of here." I offered to drive her back to her house, and when we arrived she asked me to come in. I politely declined, and she said I could do whatever I wanted to her. I had no desire to do any such thing, so I said thanks but no thanks. Then she said she wasn't getting out of the car unless I came inside and got up. After more deliberation I said okay and followed her to her door. She had a picket fence with a gate out front, so as soon as she went through the gate I closed it and ran back to my car. She started yelling and screaming at me and tried to open the doors, which I had quickly locked. I tried to pull out of the space, but she blocked me in. I backed up onto the curb to get around her, and she pushed in my side mirrors and bent my antenna, screaming obscenities as I peeled out. 0/10 would not pay the troll toll again. Edit. My top rated comment of all time is about getting almost by a troll. She probably had the oven preheated inside and knives ready to go. I've told this before, but when I was a bouncer at a dive bar during an incredibly cold winter, I had a woman sit in the booth closest to the door, where I had to be, and fell each and every fry of an entire large basket of fries, while attempting to hold my eye contact. I mean, I could see someone doing that on 1 or 2 fries, while trying to be. It's a little weird, but whatever. But she ate down and ate about 1.5 pounds of fries, sucking and licking each one, while staring straight at me. She did not have the coy glance down at all. This was an aggressive, almost violent act perpetrated on a potato directly at me, and it went on for over a half hour. And I was a captive audience, because I had to be at the door, and it was like 8 degrees outside. This was an aggressive, almost violent act perpetrated on a potato directly at me. I don't know if I'm supposed to laugh or not, but that's the funniest thing I've read on here in ages. This was an aggressive, almost violent act perpetrated on a potato directly at me. I need this on a t-shirt. Had a sloppy drunk cougar at some shithole dive in West Virginia groped my junk as I walked past, then said loudly MMM. Mama likes a salami. Gotta be honest, I wasn't even mad. Being from WV I can confirm this is a normal occurrence. Sounds like I'm packing my bags and moving to WV. Hit on / weirdest pickup line. I was living abroad at China. Was at the club. Really cute girl comes up to me. "Hi, do you speak Chinese?" My Chinese was terrible, but of course I said, "Yes." "Okay, cool. I'm Japanese. I think my friend just got drugged and dragged off by some guys. I can't find her anywhere. Can you describe my friend to the bouncer?" Fast forward, me talking to the bouncers in super terrible Chinese describing the most stereotypical Asian girl ever for a solid 20 minutes. Fast forward, damn, like duck it. Let's just go look for your friend. Can't friend her in the club. Suggest we look outside. Once we get out she states 2 things. First, your Chinese is terrible. Second, that was all a lie. I just wanted to talk to you. Probably should have been a red flag there, but dated her for a year and some. Was by far the oddest relationship in my life. Sent me pictures of myself through my window from her parked car outside my apartment. The kicker was it was from an unknown number as she was using a third-party messaging app. She thought she was being cute, but it creeped the holy hell out of me. Oh my god. For a few seconds, I legitimately thought I was moments away from death, until she followed up with a second pic of a selfie in front of my apartment saying, "Hey, come outside so I can mug you." I just told her I was sick and didn't want to get her sick, but in reality I was so mad and terrified, I was shaking. I got a similar story. I hadn't even been out on a date with this woman, but she told me on the phone that night that she parked in the parking lot with her friend and watched me work, pumped gas in college. Then she told me she liked my house. She had never been to my house. She told me she looked up the address in the phone book. Yes, I'm dating myself. Ghosted her after that convo. Did she know you were dating yourself? She might have left you alone if she knew you weren't single. Preface: my oldest sister is 15 years older than me and moved away when I was 4. I'm 18, in college, working nights in a convenience store. Around 6:30 one morning a woman walked in looking like she had been hit by a truck. She sees me and asks, "Hey, are you girl Russia Files' brother?" I am. I'm Lulu. I'm a friend of your sister. We went to high school together. I asked if she was okay. Yeah. My husband beat me up. Wow. Can I call the police for you? No. But could you give me a ride to the... Okay. I get off work in 30. I drive her there and wait while she secures lodging. Want to come in? No thanks. I think I want to go home, grab a beer, and get some sleep. Know what I want? A good duck-in, and I think you're the guy to do it. She has 2 black eyes, a missing tooth, and bloody lips, and let's not forget the psychopathic husband roaming the moors. I noped right the duck out of there, and have never regretted the decision. Reminds me of when I was in college. It's a long story, but I got really depressed and drove my 92 VW Jetta from Idaho and was trying to get to Santa Barbara. Somewhere near Modesto my car overheated and I ditched it in a gas station parking lot. During this period of my life I was clinically depressed and not thinking entirely rationally. Ended up getting rides with strangers and hitchhiking with a trucker. Well, I managed to make my way down to Santa Clarita, but I needed a ride on 126 West to Santa Barbara. No luck anywhere. I walked into a Circle K at about 3:30 am and talked to this biker and the lady clerk. I forget the biker's name, but the woman, well, she's a bit of a ham planet. And her name was Tracy, but she offered to drive me to Santa Barbara when she got off work at like 7 am. I gladly accepted and decided to sleep on the floor of the convenience store beneath a table in the dining area. I would wake up every 30 minutes to hear Tracy brag to all her regulars about how she was going to drive me to Santa Barbara and that she's never been there. Hooray. Eventually I don't wake up as frequently and even sleep for a few hours. When I finally do wake up, I look around, but no Tracy. What the heck, I thought. Even though I'm tired and barely awake, I ask the new attendant, Where's Tracy? Oh, she just went home to shower. She'll be back soon. And you better believe about 30 minutes later Tracy shows up, freshly showered, hair slicked straight back and greasy wet, wearing a dress that only goes about halfway down her pudgy thighs, which also had a few bruises on them. I hopped into her white Honda Civic, we fuel, and speed off. The conversation was awkward and sparse during the 45-minute drive. Tracy had also applied a little perfume, but it didn't really help. When we finally get to Santa Barbara, I just asked her to drop me off at a Trader Joe's by the exit. But before I left, Tracy slides her porky fingers on my thigh and with just a slight coyness says, "So, do you want me to hang out for a bit?" I was like, nope, and jumped out of the car. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I didn't want to have my first experience be with an overweight stranger in her Honda Civic mid-morning at a Trader Joe's parking lot. I used to drive a limo, well, a sedan service, but it wasn't a stretch. I picked up a rich, drunk middle-aged couple, and the woman got her face up between the front seats and stared at me for a few minutes. Then she said, "So, do you wanna duck tonight?" I didn't say anything, pretending she was not talking to me, and I met her husband's eyes in the mirror. He was just rolling his eyes and shaking his head sadly. When we arrived at their resort, the bellman had to literally drag her out of the car. When talking about which apartments we lived in, she showed me a Google Street View of her apartment and directions how to get there. She joined the gym she knew I worked out at, even though it was way out of the way for her. She knew nothing about baseball until I told her I was a fan, and then became a huge fan of my favorite team. Totally shifted her political views when she found out we are on opposite sides. Did a whole bunch of research on my home city and ended up knowing more history of that city than me. Oh shit, I think I missed out on my dream girl. It's no wonder I'm still single. It's never too late, you could stalk her down. From the sounds of it, she might be into it. Mutual stalking, the real true love. She said she wanted to milk me. For those asking, yes, I did let her. Got any similar examples? Leave it in the comments below.